Everyone get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to another replay of mine. It's the IS-8 which I very recently acquired. This is a replay from this patch and yeah, as you may well notice, still don't have the aiming reticle. I haven't figured out what's going on there. I've looked on the forums, I've sent a support ticket to Wargaming. I know I'm not the only person having this problem, but it doesn't seem to be a massively common problem, so I really don't know what the issue is. I'm going to try just re-downloading the whole World of Tanks client at some point and hope that does the trick. But for the moment it's the case that yeah, don't have the aiming reticle, so that's why that's not there. So this is a game where I was platooned up with some people from SGTA. There's Bladed Baron and Oppa Apo over there. I am not terribly confident in the IS-8 yet. I don't quite know what to do with it, and I've not had a massive amount of success, but this is one of the few battles where I was actually able to get some damage in. I was actually able to be reasonably effective, but for the most part I'm not really enjoying it very much, and it might be that I'm playing it completely wrong. It might be that I need to think of it more of as a medium tank than a heavy tank, but I'm struggling to be effective in a lot of battles. I just die way too quickly because the armor is pretty. It's not very good. It's just it's kind of like the French tanks almost. Some of the French heavies where you're trading hit points for damage, but I don't know, because with the French heavies, at least from tier 8 upwards, that's burst damage. That's incredibly effective. Whereas this thing, you know, it's got a good gun, but it's not the same. Anyway, my plan was initially to get to A1, A2, but I've spotted that that's one of the enemy 5120s. 5120s and the Conqueror are all in a platoon, so if there's one there, then yes, there's the other one. The Conqueror's going to be there as well, so I'm backing up. A pair of 5120s will wreck me. I'm not going to bounce those shots at all. So Oppa's come with me as well, who is actually also in a 5120. There's also an AT-15. We do have artillery to worry about. So I'm already... I don't know, I don't have a high confidence level in playing this thing. I know that I don't know, the times I have played aggressively have all gone quite badly for me. So, yeah, I'm probably playing a lot more cautiously than I should be in general with this. It feels like it should be a better IS-3, but it doesn't really play like that at all. Even though the armor is... it gets like 10 more armor than the IS-3 on the front, and it still has that pike nose, but the actual effectiveness of the armor feels so much less. Anyway, yeah, we're just waiting for these guys to push around now. The AT-15 is actually in a fairly bad position because he's artillery safe, but he's not safe from those guys. And yeah, they're just unloading on him now. He's dead, basically. And this is a problem because we can't be artillery safe and keep ourselves well, not safe from those guys, but you know, be able to fire and pull back kind of thing. So there's one in. Oppa starts unloading. And I'm just... oh, there's the Conqueror. Now, I think because I'm reasonably hull down, I do actually bounce some shots in this match. Not a huge amount. I wanted to finish off at 5120, but the other one actually drove in front. The turret on this thing is okay, but the top of the turret is quite easy to pen. It's a bit like the IS-3 in that regard, that it's actually got some... in comparison to the IS-3, the commander's hatch is quite prominent, so it's not that hard to hurt one of these when it's hull down. And some of those bounces, I think, were just because luck more than anything else. So cheeky A43 there, who's trying for some shots. I can at least bounce a tier 7. Yeah, I don't know where that shell went. The gun is pretty good on this. It's the same gun as you get with the STI. And hello, artillery. Yeah, okay. Artillery's now focusing on us. Oh, that's a nice one from Oppa. Our RT is, I think, now helping us as well. It's one of these ones where you want to go, oh, Artie, why weren't you helping sooner? Well, it takes them time to turn round, and it takes time for the reticle to settle. And so sometimes, you know, artillery doesn't help you nearly as fast as you'd like, but it's not maybe their fault particularly. Oh, yeah, ouch. Yeah, I think maybe I'll fix my gun. Yeah, that might be useful. Oh. Oppa got both guys there. Now both 5120s are still in play. but they're both one-shot kills at this point, so they're going to be quite cautious. Unfortunately, the GW just killed Oppa. Bladed actually came back to help, because if they'd actually succeeded in pushing through along this line, they could either cap or they could get round behind our forces and mop up. So, yeah, wow, that bounced. I have to say though, I think we've had both the misses that I had in this one, where I either missed or hit and didn't pen. For the most part, I did alright in terms of actually hitting things. Well, yeah, ow. Okay, yeah, he's still there. I actually have gone for a slightly unusual setup with this. I put on optics. Oh, there we go. Artillery gets one, Blader gets the other. I put on optics because with the top turret you get 400 meter view range. Although I don't know that I had the top turret when I was playing this one. I don't think I did actually. This might be the stock turret, which is still not bad. It's basically the same armor, but with the top turret you get better view range, better hit points, and some better gun handling characteristics. But the other things I went for were actually the enhanced gun laying drive and vertical stabilizer rather than rammer. And you might think that's a slightly silly choice, and maybe it is. I'm basically doing this as an experiment, because even with those, it's pretty much the same reload time. In fact, it's still a slightly better reload time than I get on the STI. So I'm not too concerned about the reload, although you probably want a better reload time when you don't have as much armor. So I might swap out one of those for a rammer eventually, but for the moment I'm experimenting with these two. Because with the stock turret it's a 3.4 second aim time. I think with the top turret it's 2.9 or is it 2.5? I can't remember. It's 2 point something. But for snapshots that's still longish. So at the moment I'm going on the theory that I'm going to be wanting to make lots of snapshots with this thing for just playing peekaboo and doing my best to actually hit somebody and then pull back really quickly, because it doesn't have the armor to sit and just sit there and aim. So yeah, that's why I've not put a rammer on it, but maybe I will change that. Who knows? Maybe people will shout at me for being silly, more than usual. We're just mopping up now, 11-9. It's not like we've got a massive numerical superiority, but there's a Tiger 2 who apparently never left the cap circle, possibly even a bot. Who knows? He is firing, but he's just sitting there. So that's some free damage for us. The AT-15 was playing very defensively all along. And obviously the enemy artillery is around there somewhere as well. So there we go, a bit more damage. Nearly 3k damage now. Like I said, this is quite a nice gun. It's the same gun as the STI, same gun as the IS-4. And in theory, that should be a really nice gun on a mobile platform, but although it's fast for a medium, it's not exactly fast for a medium. Wow, fast for a heavy. It's not exactly as whizzy as a medium. So can I get the GW? Yes, I can. Very nice. Goodbye, scumbag. It's just the AT-15 left now, and I think me and Bladed have got this. I'm being a bit wary. I don't really want to lose any more hit points. I have actually found it's like the IS-3 in that ammo rack damage is actually fairly common. In fact, it feels more common than the IS-3 so far. I actually have more problems with it on this than the IS-3. On the other hand, I think I've got a crew with. Oh no, actually I don't. I was going to say I think I've got a crew with the safe stowage perk on the IS-3, but I don't think I do at the moment. I certainly don't on this. That feels like an absolute essential. If I had an extra equipment slot, I would probably put the wet, the wet ammo rack thing on the equipment on this in place of something else. But it's one of these tanks where there's just too many equipment options, really. It's like a rammer's useful, but a gun laying drive is also useful, but the vert stabs are also useful. The vents would be useful, but the wet ammo rack would be useful. Yeah, it's kind of like you have to make a choice, and I might swap things around. If it continues to be as bad as it is, I might actually even drop the gun laying drive for a wet ammo rack instead of the rammer. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at the results there. That was actually my first class mastery badge, and got a Confederate medal out of that as well, which is quite nice. I didn't have the top score. That went to Bladed, who... oh, actually I did have the top score. I'm looking at the wrong thing there. Our RT did okay, actually. He did come through in the end. Nearly 3k damage, that's not bad. Panther 2, then Bladed, and then Oppa after him. We all did a pretty reasonable amount of damage in that one. I couldn't have held on that ridgeline there without the help of Oppa. It's just a pity artillery nailed him. And then Bladed coming back to help me out really swung the balance in our favour. So that's also, the power of platooning is being able to say, I need help you guys. And, if someone's actually in a position to come back and help you, that can turn the tide of a battle potentially. And I think it probably did there, because if those autoloaders had broken through, that could have been quite a different outcome. Who knows? So 3.7k damage done. I had, 12 shots fired, 10 hits, 10 penetrations, not bad. Although one of them was a critical, so they weren't all damaging hits. But, for 9 penetrating shots, that's 3.7k damage, that's pretty nice. I actually bounced a couple of shells, which is, like I said, unusual for the IS-8. That hasn't been my experience. Yesterday, trying to play it for the daily, in fact, because it's a weekend, so it was ×3 on this particular weekend event. It took me 6 goes to get the win, and some of the teams were pretty bad, but I wasn't playing especially well either. But I think in those 6 matches, I bounced shells twice, something like that. Yeah, and just like 8 every other single shot that actually hit me. This is not a tank that bounces stuff very often, so yeah. And I drove 2.14 kilometers, so the mobility is quite nice on this. I will say that. It's the one annoying thing with the mobility, though, is that the top engine gives you an extra 50 horsepower and, obviously more module hit points, but it's at quite a hefty XP cost considering it's only an extra 50 horsepower. So I don't think I'm actually going to be getting the top engine on this thing. It's reasonably mobile with the stock engine, which is, I don't know how many horsepower. But like I said, the top engine is only an extra 50 on top of that, so it hardly seems worth the research cost of was it 25, 28k? Anyway, so that was quite a nice result. It's, like I said earlier on at the beginning, it's probably one of the better matches I've had so far in the IS-8. I haven't had that many, but maybe I'll get better at it. Who knows? Maybe I should just start playing it more like a medium tank. Although that said, I'm not particularly amazing in medium tanks, so yeah, at the moment I'm still very much in the mindset of trying to play it like a heavy. Perhaps that's my mistake. Still, it's definitely never going to replace the STI as being my favourite tier 9, because it's just not as good. It just isn't. The armour of the STI gives it so much more flexibility, even though the IS-8 is definitely the faster machine, even though they've got the same guns, even though it's got a better reload, better gun handling characteristics with that top turret. I think the STI still beats it out on pretty much every other metric. So, if you enjoyed this replay, you can hit the like button, you can leave a comment below, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.